Hello and welcome everybody to tonight's call. We're excited to be with you tonight. I feel like I'm a DJ. And we've got an all-star cast for you tonight. I want to welcome those who are listening to this call in the rebroadcast and welcome you to our call tonight. I'm excited to announce to you and to introduce to you our host for tonight. Please welcome from Southern California, my friend and yours, Mr. Steve Swartz.
How's it going, Rick?
Good.
Well, awesome. Well, hey, I want to welcome you out here to this Zoom call, this webinar. And whether you're listening to it live or you're listening to it on a recording, maybe someone passed this call on to you and said you should take a look at it for whatever reason. What we're going to do tonight and today on this Zoom is just kind of tell you exactly an opportunity that we're working on and a business that we're working on. And I was going to tell you my story. And so I'm not some polished speaker. I didn't ever take a speech class. I think I took speech class in junior college, once because they made you do that. But I didn't have any formal training in sales and anything like that. But so my background is I'm a former U.S. Army officer. I kept the haircut. And, that was a few years ago I got out of the military. But during my 20s, I spent it as an officer in the U.S. Army. So when I was 24 years old, which was about a little while ago, all right, it was a little while ago. When I was 24 years old, I was a tank platoon leader stationed in Korea. And, I didn't know where I was going to take things, what I was going to do, but I just knew that I was going to spend a few years in the military. I liked serving my country. It was a great leadership experience. But I don't know about you guys, but when you're kind of getting a crossroads, I spent about 6 years on active duty, and I got out in September of 2000. I mean, how crazy was it that September of 2000, right? A year later, everything went crazy. And I was at the time, I was like, what am I going to do? Like my friends were, you ever find yourself at a crossroads? Like, what am I going to do now? My friends were getting recruited into corporate America. I was like, what is that about? It doesn't look exciting. I grew up in college sports. My dad was a college football coach. So I was around a lot of high profile people and it's kind of a different environment to grow up in. And so when I was getting out of the military, I was like, I don't really want to go to corporate. So what ended up happening is I read a book called Rich Dad Poor Dad. He said, you need to own your own business. So I'm like, man, sounds good. And I said, well, gosh, what could I do? And think about this. I signed up for a franchise for about $3,500, gift baskets, right? Army captain to gift baskets. It sounds like a great plan. Everyone else is rolling their eyes at me. My parents are like, what are you doing? You're about to have a baby, what, you need to get serious, right? Because all this programming, right? So I went to school. I went to all the junior college. I went to college. I got the job in the military. And now I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? And so I started this little franchise. I bought vending machines for $5,000. And so things weren't, I didn't look like I was making a lot of awesome decisions, but I had an idea that somehow I could make more money some way. And I had real estate, I had some properties. So I was looking at that angle. And, what ended up happening is I ended up getting a job in corporate America. So I worked, I didn't want to do that. I ended up getting a job at Dell Computer in Austin, Texas. And, I remember my salary, so I remember sitting there going, wow, how am I going to get out of this? And I had read a book. And I read this book and the author actually was talking about an opportunity that he was in. I was like, well, what is he doing? And it made sense to me. And I kind of had some preconceived notions, like maybe you guys do, maybe you've seen something like this before, you're not sure. And I ended up basically answering this ad. And I said, okay, well, what's he doing? I ended up starting in this business on the side. But my salary, okay, my dog's distracting me as he's walking around here. He's been sitting here the whole time and now he's walking around. So sorry about that. So basically, I got this job at corporate America and I answered this ad. I said, you know what, I need to start on something different because immediately, as soon as I got my job at Dell, they started laying people off, okay? And I was like, wow, like they weren't laying me off because they just hired us. I was like, but this doesn't look like these people are working in these jobs. They don't even like them. And then they end up getting fired. And I was like, forget this stuff. I don't want to be doing this. And I was like, what am I going to do? So just sit down, bro. Sorry. So anyways, of all times, right? So I ended up getting this job in corporate. I'm working it. My salary, I'm just going to tell you something though. A few weeks ago, so I got a salary at Dell. It wasn't huge, but it was, it's decent. Well, 2 weeks ago, through the business that we're going to talk about tonight, I actually made more in one day. In one day, right? Remember, I didn't have any sales training. I didn't have anything. I got paid more in one day than I made that first year in that corporate job. And so when I first started it, I started in network marketing. When I first started, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't have much training, but I had a belief that something could work. And I got invited on to like listening to a call, and it made sense to me. And I started talking to the people, and I was like, wow, I was like, this could be something that could work. And I had some examples of people that were doing it. And I just believed that, this could be something that I could do. So a couple years later, I fast forward, I quit my job at Dell. I doubled my income on a part-time basis. And then, I went on in that business to make over $5,000 a week for over like 12 years. And about 7 years ago, we decided that, there's something that can be changed, because we learned a lot, and we thought, there's something that we could do differently. And we started a new business about 7 years ago. And that's what we're here to talk to you guys about tonight. And what I wanted to do is bring on a couple of people that have gotten some amazing results. And because if you don't know what it takes what a good business is something that basically you have products that actually get results. So I wanted to bring on a couple of people. And about a year and a half, about 14 months ago, I met this guy on Facebook. Didn't know him from anybody. And he basically got a hold of me, and we started talking. He told me, and so you can see his results. His name's Hannibal. He's from Washington, D.C., and I'm going to bring him out right now.
Hey, Steve, what's going on, buddy? How are you?
Pretty good, man. Sorry for my distractions over here, but we're doing good.
No worries. I really appreciate you having me on here, and I'm glad you reached out when you did, because my life has just completely changed from, I guess, a year and a half ago when we first got connected. My story, I'm a 46-year-old new dad I live in Washington, D.C. with my wife and our 18-month-old son, Atticus. And this all started for me when I met you, and you showed me, hey, there's this program, there's this way that, you can lose weight, you can get back in shape, these products, all this stuff. It spoke to me because I had a 3-month-old baby boy, and I couldn't keep up with him. I was like completely worn out. I was exhausted. My wife gained weight during the pregnancy. I gained just as much weight right alongside her. And she lost all the weight in 90 days, and I didn't. So something had to change. I was deathly afraid that I was going to fall asleep with the kid, and I was going to roll over and I was going to crush him. Right. It's something they warned us about in the hospital. I'm like, this is a higher risk, particularly for obese parents. I'm like, I think they're talking to me. And it put the fear into me. I'm like, I got to do something. So that my initial goal was, I was weighing 263 pounds in that first picture. I said, let me just lose 50 pounds. I'll give myself 90 days to do it. I gave myself a deadline, and that was going to put me at about 215. And frankly, if I had dropped 40 pounds, I would have been pretty stoked. But I wrote down 50. I was worried about giving up my Ben & Jerry's ice cream. I was worried about giving up alcohol. I was giving up carbs because I was addicted. I was addicted to food. But what I learned, the breakthrough, is that, I don't need to deprive myself. I just need to let my body heal. So I followed the program. I took these awesome products, and I actually dropped a total of 82 pounds. In the first 90 days, I lost 63 pounds, but I lost a total of 82 pounds, which is great. I completely exceeded my goal. But more than that, is it just transformed my vision of what's possible. Like physically, I never thought that I would be in this good a shape as a 46-year-old guy, particularly what the last few years have been like. So it expanded my vision for what's possible physically. And because of that, when you lose this much weight, people want to know, Hannibal, what did you do? So it's opened up this great business opportunity. You're going to hear more about this tonight. But my advice, if you're looking at this for the first time, whether you have weight to lose or not, or if you're just looking to learn more about ways you can make some extra money, just get started, right? The best way to get ahead, Mark Twain said, is to get started. You can trust the people that you're going to hear from here tonight. They know what they're doing, and just pay attention, and I'm going to be taking notes. But I appreciate you, Steve. Thanks, buddy.
Hey, thank you so much, man. I mean, can you imagine losing 82 pounds? Anybody have any dad bods out there that would like to fix that up? I mean, absolutely amazing. Your results are awesome. And so next we're going to bring on Ava. So Ava, how are you doing?
Hi, Steve. Doing great tonight. Thank you.
What's up, Hollywood?
So thanks for having me. This program, all these products really changed my life. Like Steve said, I live here in Hollywood because I've been in the TV industry for over a decade. And behind the scenes, I don't know how if you guys know how it is on set. There's free food. There's something called craft service. It's basically a table with processed food that you could grab at any time. And on top of that, I worked at the Food Network. So definitely netted all that food into my stomach. So was working there for several seasons, and we get little breaks between seasons. And I just realized, like, you know, I'm in my 30s, but I felt like way older than that because I was lethargic. I was sick all the time, always on antibiotics, just not feeling my best. And, you know, you saw in the photo, people go, well, you know, you're petite. You know, what do you know about, you know, being heavier and losing weight? But I also have scoliosis. So I had a back brace that I wore. It's a big back brace for over 2 years, and I've been dealing with this. My spine is actually like shaped like an S, like a 65-degree curvature. And it's been uncomfortable all my life, and it was my scapegoat for everything. So after the show, I said, you know what? I'm not going to accept this anymore. I'm going to take a change. I just want to finally just feel fit. And it all started when a friend of mine told me how his friend completely changed in just 28 days. And I went on a call like this. I went online and he showed me about it real quick, and I saw his results, and I'm like, I'm worth it. I'm just going to give it a go. 28 days. I saw his results. Let's do this. So I did it. A great experience. You know, I learned to, like Hannibal, just give your body what it needs and it will respond. And of course there's obstacles, right? Like for me, my back, you know, there's always an event. That's what I get all the time. Well, this event's coming, and then this event. There's always going to be events. But what I really thought about is the bigger event. How I'm going to look in 28 days, because I saw the results he showed me. I saw his personal result, and I'm like, I'm going to get my 28-day results. And my breakthrough was, don't think about 28 days or however long your journey, if it's 10 pounds, 20 pounds, 30 pounds, 80 pounds, because I've helped everyone with up to 100 pounds. And just think about 5 days at a time. You know, when you enjoy 5, just think what I have to do for the next 5 days. And then before you know it, you're enjoying that milestone. I tell people, take pictures every 5 days, and you feel and see the difference that quick. So just enjoy the process. It's that fun. And through that, you could see this photo. I transformed inside and out. You know, you can't see it in the photo, but I just feel like I unlocked this sustained energy that I didn't even know existed. Like, I have crazy days and everyone's like, how do you have that energy? And on top of that, just being connected, mind, body, soul. I didn't realize how much my mind and how I felt was connected to my health. And I am so much more in tune with myself because of this whole program. And when you guys decide to do this, or when you're sharing this with someone, my biggest advice, I think this is the biggest thing that helped me, is just decide to start. Bring everyone you possibly can with you. I brought my coworkers, anyone in my immediate circle, my mom, my dad, my family, my friends, my Facebook friends, my Instagram friends, their friends, and anyone I could think of. You just profess it to as many people as you can, what your goals are. And while you're attaining your goals, you bring everyone in. And not only do you it's the gift of getting people these results, and how satisfying it is to see people get these results along with you, but keeping yourself accountable. And it really is a gift of health and wealth. And I'm obsessed with the whole health portion, but there is wealth that goes along with it as well, which you're going to hear about. So this is a gift and it keeps on giving. So I would tell them, just do not miss out. Thank you, Steve.
Hey, thank you for bringing that story to us. It's amazing. Your results are awesome and you continue to rock it. So appreciate you setting the example. And Maria, are you out there?
Hi, sorry. Yeah, so hello everyone. I'm here tonight and very excited to share with all of you. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, perfect.
Awesome. Well, I had always considered myself a very healthy and confident woman, and I had an average weight all my life. I'm a mother of 3 children of ages 22, 15, and 11 years old. I'm married and I'm a very busy entrepreneur running a few companies. And by little, I started feeling, not feeling confident in my own skin. I started gaining body fat and losing energy, feeling fluffy. I also stopped feeling comfortable, with the clothes and not, just not feeling like I used to. So I think there was a moment when I realized that I had created a box where I was dedicating my energy and my focus to fulfill everyone else's expectations of me, and I was losing myself in the process, and I was losing my confidence and not really loving myself in the way I looked. And in 2018, I was going to enter into my 40th birthday, and I made a decision to transform my physique, my health, and just recover my energy. So I entered into a bikini fitness competition, and I train with a coach. I follow a fitness regimen, a meal plan, and I use the ARIIX products, several of the ARIIX products, to be ready for the show. So I met my goal, and in the course of the training, I lost 10% of body fat, 16 pounds, and tone up my body. And so I met my goal to enter into my 40th birthday in the best shape of my life. Going through my body transformation cost me a bigger impact than just shaping my body. I think that I know that my greatest breakthrough that I experienced was who I became in the process. I became a confident woman again, and I learned to love myself in a deeper level than I never did before. I developed discipline, consistency, and focus, and remain committed to my goal. I also feel like I free up myself from living in this box that I created. So the day of the competition, as I was walking across the stage in a bikini, something I never thought I would do in my life, something magical happened. I felt that my soul got naked that day, and I released myself from this box that I had put myself into, and these fears, and I unleashed myself to be whoever I wanted to be. And today I tell everyone on this call and everyone that I talk to that to step up and take control, take your life back, and be confident. And I just want to thank ARIIX for creating amazing products that supported my health journey and my transformation. And I know that anybody that really wants to take their life, their confidence, their physique to the next level, they will be able to do it with the help of these products and all the support that we have, of the leadership. So thank you. I love you all. Wish you all much success.
Wow, awesome. Amazing results. And we appreciate everything you're doing and your leadership, and you're setting the example. And that story you just told was, I'm going to be thinking about that for a long time. So appreciate you.
Thank you, Steve.
You bet. So you guys, listen, one of the great things is when you're looking at all this stuff is, okay, so people are getting results. There's products that people are using. They're transforming their lives. And that's really like the theme of what ARIIX is. Not only unleashing your potential, which you were just talking about as well, but also transforming your own self, whether that's financially, whether that's physically, mentally. And when you get results like this, then what you have is a really amazing business. And that's what we've come to see in ARIIX. And over the last few years, we've gotten more and more stories like this. But, you know, I've been doing network marketing now for 18 years, right? I was like, oh my gosh, right? And so when you think about that, when I was looking at in the past, you know, you see so many different companies come around. You guys have probably seen this company comes and this product and this thing. And, you know, what would make a company be different? Like, what would make a company stand out so that when you got excited about a product or a result or you changed yourself, what would make that an amazing business so that like you didn't have an income that was there and all of a sudden, poof, it goes away? How could you create a long-term income, one that could be a legacy type income? And, you know, what I wanted to do is bring out Rick. Rick was introducing us. And, you know, if you don't know this, guys, if you don't know this, you're out there and you're watching the replay. Rick was the CEO of another company in network marketing, has been around for over 30 years in network marketing, has seen everything. And he left that position, that company, to come run the market for North America for ARIIX. And I wanted him to come out and share kind of like what he's seen, you know, and he's going to give his background on why he decided to choose ARIIX. And so, Rick, I want to bring you out, my friend.
Thanks, Steve. I appreciate that. And I'm just going to take a few minutes tonight and focus really on just a couple of things. And you're right. About 8 months ago, I was kind of miserable. Was not happy with what I was doing. I've been doing and been in this industry for, as you said, over 30 years. And I was the CEO of the company. And yet I wasn't happy. I didn't feel fulfilled. And every day seemed to be like a drudgery to go to work. And many of you probably on this call might have been in a situation like that where you just weren't satisfied. I love this industry and I believe in it. And I believed that there was a company out there that had the elements of what I was looking for. And it was a combination of things. Number one, it had to have not just one owner. It had to be multiple owners. And one of the reasons for that is I want to partner with this company for the rest of my career. And an owner, if it's one owner, can just change directions of the company one day on an idea. And that to me wasn't reasonable. I was looking for a long-term business. I may be in the sunset of my career, but it's a long sunset. It's a really beautiful one, but it is the sunset. So I wanted to find something that I could partner with and partners that I could believe in. So men of integrity, people that had a vision of the future, that weren't looking at this industry just the same way. The vision of this company is to be disruptive, very much like Uber and Lyft have been in the transportation industry or Airbnb in the lodging industry. This is a disruptive company, not doing the same things the same way that people have done it before. So that was important. Number one was the mission and vision. We have a Bill of Rights that defines the relationship between the company and representatives in a new way. Can you imagine having a group of founders and what Steve was talking about, being a founder and sharing in the profits of a company? What other company in this industry has ever done that? That's the opportunity that presents itself at ARIIX. Number three, so you have the mission, vision, the owners, the product of the company. It had to be a house of brands. You heard about a weight loss product. We are not a weight loss company. We're a health and wellness company that has house of brands, meaning that if you find somebody that has a concern or a health concern, we most likely have a product that can address that concern. One single product has a product cycle that goes up and goes down. If you have a house of brands, multiple products, you won't find yourself in that problem. It may sound great today, but 2 years from now, there's going to be 30 other companies that have the same thing. It's just the natural cycle of products. Number four is the compensation plan. And for me, it was about integrity. Does the company pay what it said it pays? And it may seem like a duh to many of you on the call today, but unfortunately, not every company pays what it says it does. And is it fair and balanced? There's companies out there that provide a lot of money in the beginning, but yet because they provide most of their income in the beginning, you can't create a sustainable business. To me, it was about a legacy. It was about creating a business that you could will to your children that could be around for a long time to come. And yes, even though I'm the sunset of my career, there are people that are listening to this that are in the sunrise of their career that has to be around for the many stages of your life. And the last thing is the thing that really jacks me up, Steve, and that is the timing. Because we're a 7-year-old company, almost 8 years old now. Every year there's been a growth within the company. Last year we did about over $200 million in sales, up from 170 the year before. We are a profitable company. But here's the kicker. Nobody's even heard of us yet. And so when you have an opportunity with a company that has what we have and that hasn't gone into a momentum or hit critical mass, if you look at economics, then that to me, it spells opportunity. In fact, it screams opportunity. So when they said to me, are you willing to consider leaving the role as the CEO to become a GM of North America? for me, it was about opportunity, and I took the leap. And so that's what I see here. I see a very unique company. I've been in the industry over 30 years. I've seen a lot of great companies, and there are a lot of great companies and a lot of great people, a lot of great products. To have a combination of all those things that I just said, and nobody has heard of us yet, that to me is what this is really all about. So Steve, thanks for letting me be a part of it tonight. I'm going to turn it back to you.
Appreciate you. You know, when I've started in ARIIX in the beginning, and this is what we saw. We saw a vision of where we were going to go. We knew it would be different. And there's companies that took off faster than us. And guess what? They bit the dust because they weren't built on solid foundation like you just showed us. And that's really key, because you guys, you're going to be working, you know, you want to make sure that you're going to build something solid. And what I wanted to do is bring out a couple people that have had success in the business, you know, besides the folks that are on tonight, and they're having success as well. But I wanted to bring on some real key leaders. And the first one I wanted to bring out is a guy who's like a legend to me. His name is Duke. It's Duke and Sheila Tubden. And I wanted to bring him out. So Duke, are you out there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thanks, Steve, for having me on. So I'll just say real quick, again, thank you for having me. And I'll just give a brief on my background and why I'm really fired up about ARIIX, especially where it's going. I've been involved in this industry for well over 20 years. And my journey, starting off in this industry, I was actually not looking for this line of work. I was looking for a job. I was in high school. I was getting ready to gear up for college. And then my parents dropped the bomb on me saying, we can't afford to send you to college. And back then, it wasn't common to have student loans. So I said to myself, I need to find a way to make money. And so in my junior year, I started looking for work. I started looking for a job, and I stumbled across this type of work. And when I came on board, I'll tell you, the reason why I came on is because, as I said, maybe it was bad luck. No one was hiring. So I got my feet wet, and I learned the game. And one thing I'll tell you is as long as you're willing to learn a system, that's when things really start to crank. And for me, I learned how to build the business, and it did okay for me. And this is what I also tell people too. It's like the gym. Once you get your workout routine down, it's pretty much up to you how buff you want to be. And for myself, I only cared to make $400 to $500 a month. Back in my day, back at that age, I thought that was really good money. And so that's what I set my sights on. And again, $500 at 18 years old, I mean, that's, for a lot of people, that's good spending money. I was still living at home with my parents. My parents didn't view this as a real job. It wasn't a job. They didn't view this as work. So they're always trying to figure out, how do we get this guy, or how do we get our son in the right direction? And I'll tell you what happened. I got into a car accident. It wasn't even my fault, but my parents found it as an excuse to get me out of this line of work. And they said, you got to get a real job. And so I had to get a real job, which was pizza delivery. And on top of that, I had to fix my own car. My dad had friends that were auto mechanics, and it was his way to keep his eye on me. So I had to become an auto mechanic and then do 16 units of college. And it felt like having 3 jobs. And again, with 30 to 40 hours a week, just with the pizza delivery alone, man, it took a toll on me. And 2 things really stood out. For one, I got completely exhausted. My body couldn't take it. I actually ended up going to the ER room, and I was there the whole day. Anyways, long story real short, I had an MRI, CAT scan, and sent to a neurologist, and they said, you got to stop what you're doing, because whatever you're doing is killing you. And here I am at 19 years old, like, I didn't even believe that was even possible. And so I had 2 major aha moments. One, I can't believe how much I was working. But 2, when I had my pizza job, I was working my butt off. And I was not even making as much as I was with my business. And perhaps that was my major aha moment to say, you know what? I need to get back in this line of work. Car was fixed. I was more freed up, and I got back in my business. Again, fast forward, by the age of 20 years old, I was very fortunate to break a 7-figure income doing this type of work. At the age of 21, a multiple 7-figure income. It was a complete life change. And I'll tell you, again, what was the difference? My attitude was the biggest change, where I said, man, $500 a month, this could do way more than $500 a month. And so it was a life change, but this is what happened. As Rick Redford said, sometimes you work with companies and they make certain promises, they may not keep them. or at the same time being in an industry where the product or service gets outdated. And so I was kind of wandering until I met the founders of ARIIX. I've been with the founders of ARIIX for 14 years. So longer than ARIIX has been around. But why am I in ARIIX today? I'm in ARIIX because I do feel that this company is set for the long haul. And some people may know that I was quite comfortable in the previous company. I held a pretty good position. My income was pretty good. But this is the thing. When you see a company that is set up to be in the billions, and you look at this company for what it is, and this is what I care about, a management that knows what they're doing. I worked in companies where you could tell the management didn't know what they were doing. Another thing is products that are definitely unique, proven. It's even great that it's clinically proven, and it's an emotional product as much as it is logical. The other is a compensation plan that is rewarding for the people that actually want to work the business. And then the vision itself. And again, Rick Redford actually brought up many of those points. And this is the thing, United States, North America, it's crazy how it's been 7 years and it feels like it's still a baby here. There is still so much potential for growth. And there are so many people already doing well in ARIIX. I can't complain in terms of the income that we're making in ARIIX. It's a blessing. I get to be a stay-at-home dad, and I love that. So again, that's my story. I'm excited. I look forward to seeing where ARIIX is going to go in the future.
I'm writing down notes, man. It's amazing. And I've seen all your stuff. I've even seen your checks for when you were younger, and you showed me all that stuff, and it's just amazing. And we're so glad you're here. And I mean, I'm like you. I feel like we're just getting started. So appreciate everything you're doing. And I want to bring out Debbie and Ken Schneider, and you guys are up in Canada and ready to rock. So you guys, welcome out.
Awesome. Thank you, Steve. Great to be here. We're really excited to be on the call with you legends. But you know, our story, we live in a small town in British Columbia, Canada. And so we took what opportunity we could with our careers. So 25 years in the corporate world, and when anybody wanted me to move to the big centers, I said, international airport, 20 minutes away. You don't like that? I'm not going to work for you. I wasn't willing to move from where we live, and neither was my husband. So for 25 years, had an amazing career in the corporate world. Kenny had an amazing career in manufacturing. And then we started to look at the future. And that future was not as bright as we thought. You know, we were getting close to 50 and we thought, what? We're not going to be able to retire at 55 like we thought. We're not going to be able to retire at 65. How are we going to travel? How are we going to do those things? We were on the hamster wheel. And I'm sure a lot of you can really relate. That hamster wheel going around and around, and you never get off. And it doesn't seem like there's anything more to do. And I don't know about you, we got worried about layoffs, tons of closures of companies, doing the work of 3 people as one. That's what we all started to do. We started to be a number in the corporate world. There was no such thing as family anymore in the corporate world. And it started to sting, and it started to really hurt us. And you know, 5 really close people to us passed away in a short period of time. And every single one of those people had a regret. Regret that they didn't have more time with their family, get to travel and do the things they wanted. None of them said, I wish I'd worked harder. But you know, money is like oxygen. You need it so that you can do those types of things. So we got a phone call several years ago and said, I don't know, you need to look at this business. And because we were open-minded, and that's what I challenge all of you to do, be open-minded. We looked at it. As entrepreneurs, we jumped off the cliff, not knowing how to fly, but don't worry, just like Duke said, there's a system. All you need to do is follow the system. The company has the best compensation, the best system set up. You can do it too. And because of that, we are able to live every dream we've ever wanted, travel around the world. We fired our bosses. We don't work for anybody, but we share transformations around the world of business, our products, you name it. And that is an amazing way to live your life. So Ken, just one more bonus.
Oh, the bonus is the products alone, like the ARIIX products, like Duke said, and you heard Maria and Ava and Hannibal talk about the products and what it's done for them. I mean, that's just crazy. And what it's done for us personally as well. I mean, the ARIIX products, the gold seal, how they manufacture, where they get their ingredients, everything is second to none. Nobody else has it. And these guys that run the company, the 7 founders, I mean, absolutely amazing. So the big question you got to ask yourself is, what do you got to lose? Well, you might lose some weight here, you might lose here, you know, but you really have nothing to lose, but you have everything to gain by being part of ARIIX International. It's crazy. Like, we've been waiting to come across a company like this, and we finally found it. And like Steve says, Duke says, we're starting off. It's just like we just, you know, been around for 7 years, but we really haven't been because nobody really heard of us. And this is just the beginning of something majorly huge.
So what do you got to lose, Steve? Back to you.
Hey, you guys are awesome. I love hearing your stories. And, you know, I think a lot of people can relate to all the stories on here one way or another. Someone can relate. I mean, I remember when I was in corporate, they're going to lay me off. Oh my gosh. I was like, well, I got to take charge of myself. I did it pretty quickly because I followed systems and I was able to leverage the time, efforts of other people, not only myself. And that's the beauty of what we do. And so appreciate you guys so much. And I wanted to bring out one last business, someone that's been doing really well in the business, and have him tell you his story. Aaron Decker, are you out there? Aaron, oh, Dr. Ginger's there. Oh, no, okay, my bad. But Aaron, are you out there?
No worries. Hey, thanks, Steve. You know, it's interesting. I'm listening to all these stories. My story is a little bit different. I grew up in a little town here in Ada, Michigan, and my dad was a school teacher. My best friend's dad actually made millions of dollars in this industry. And, you know, you mentioned early on, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I could have written the book. My dad was the poor dad. What I learned really early is entrepreneurship and then working hard. Have any of you ever really worked hard? The problem is you can work really, really hard. And I did that for 18 years. I had a traditional business. I had employees, and I was blessed to financially retire at 32. Have any of you ever been financially independent? If not, I highly recommend it because there's no other way to live. But then once you're there, have it taken away from you. I actually invested everything into one thing only to find out that it was a Ponzi scheme. So I lost everything in one phone call. You guys, I went from the top of the mountain, living life on my terms, riding horses, rodeo, and doing whatever I wanted to do, to in one moment getting a phone call and losing everything. Now, what are you going to do? If you got that phone call tomorrow, what would you do? If the phone call came in and the boss said, sorry, we're downsizing, you're out. Or if the company says, I'm sorry, we're closing. Or worse yet, maybe you've already had your career in the company that promised you that retirement, said, I'm sorry, we're not going to pay that anymore because we're dissolving everything. What would you do? What do you have to fall back on? Well, I had no education. I've never had a job. God bless all of you that do. I just don't think I'd be good at one because I like to do what I like to do whenever I want to do it. And I got a right arm that I'm thankful for, but I got crushed in a farm accident. You guys, I was used to a 6-figure plus lifestyle. There was no, I couldn't even spell resume. What was I going to do? You know what's interesting? Thankfully, somebody shared an opportunity like somebody's sharing an opportunity with you right now. And here's what I wasn't. I wasn't ignorant enough to think, oh, it's just one of those things. Are you kidding me? Somebody took time, literally time, just like you're taking time to just share some information. See, I would have been ignorant to not listen to that information because it was a way for me to financially get ahead. You guys, I seized the opportunity. Understand, I had just lost a 7-figure, everything. Rick, I lost everything that I had. And it cost money to start a business. Are you kidding me? Money? I don't know. It was $1,000. Whatever it was insignificant. Here was the significance. I had an opportunity. I seized the opportunity. Here was the problem, right? So I was all in, and then I had to think, wait a minute, shoot. I'm afraid to talk to people. I don't know what I'm doing. There's nobody in my state that can help me. Technology doesn't exist. And then the fear set in, and the fear was starting to come around and grip me. And then I had to stop myself. You ever have to do that? Stop yourself from going down a path of fear, taking you down the wrong path, and say, wait a minute, what have I really got to lose? You see, the defining moment in my career was this. I was in the back of a room with thousands of people, and there's people on the stage, people like the Steve Schwartz and the Duke Tubtons and the Deb and Kens, and they're on the stage, and they're having them come across, and they got these big checks, and they're making all this money. And I was in the back and I didn't even have the money to get out of the parking lot. I had to borrow $5 from somebody. But here's what I thought. I thought, if they can do it, I can do it. You see, if someone else could follow a system, why couldn't I follow a system? And now here's what's happened. It's totally transformed my life. My wife and I wasn't married at the time. I met my wife in this business. We've been married 4 years, right? I actually sponsored up, right? I mean, I had wrote down that I thought, you know, someday if I could ever just make $10,000 a month. I mean, I was doing more than that in a business, but I had employees and headaches and I was working 7 days a week, right? My business owned me. But I thought, man, if I could just make $10,000 a month without having any of that distractions and have time to enjoy it. See, you guys, I was thinking small. I thought, boy, if I could live in a log home someday, and that time I only had a little farmhouse. If I could just impact kids. See, I got a passion for impacting other people because I believe in who much is given, much is required. You guys, we've run a ranch for kids for now going on 17 years and impacted thousands of kids. I'm standing in a log home. We've got a 200-acre ranch, and I'm blessed beyond measure. Why? Not just because of finances, although I'll take all the money that you want to give me. Why? Because I believe money magnifies who you are, you guys. And if you're sitting here and you're thinking small-minded that you don't have money to invest in your future, then you better rethink everything in your life. But you see, this is the opportunity where you can start anywhere. You can start at the bottom and work your way at the top, and nobody's going to hold you down. In fact, every single person that you listen to today are going to be here and build you up. So don't let those small-minded things hold you back. Don't let those insecurities that hold all of us back. See, every single person, if they had had more time, they would have told you about all the obstacles that they had to overcome, all the insecurities that they had to get past. But you see, they did it. So my advice to you is this. It's really simple. Believe in yourself and jump. Don't think. See, we always think. You've thought yourself into the situation you're into right now. Quit thinking and jump.
Wow, amazing job, man. I appreciate you. And I think you've summed it up right there. I mean, at the end of the day, if you could share, some people worry about, I'm not a salesperson, I'm not this. Like, I don't think any of us really had sales training. And at the end of the day, it's like, can you share this message with somebody? Could you listen to a story here and say, you know what, Aaron, you know, I listened to this guy, Aaron, the other night. Hey, you got to check out this video. And that's as simple as this business is. So what I recommend you guys doing is getting back with the person who invited you out here. Let them know that you want to get started. You know, you've seen enough. You may not, you know, when I first saw an opportunity and this opportunity, I was like, you know what? I don't have all my questions answered, but I know enough that I got to get started. I'm going to get started now because taking action is the key. And so, you know, we look forward to working with you. Get started and, you know, and get back with the person who invited you. And you guys have a great day. If you're watching the recording, call that person up, text them right now, wake them up and tell them that you're ready to get going. And we look forward to working with you. Thanks so much. And you guys have a great night. And
good night, everybody.
Good night.